This is the German Touring Car Masters. Today, coming to you from the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. It's the 6th race weekend of the season. In 1998, work started on the Euro Speedway in Lausitz. The organizers wanted to have the most modern and most usable facility in Germany. The main part of the course is the 1.9-mile oval. Actually, a tri-oval. Looking to bring in some American series to race here. One of the main aspects of this is the Grand Prix course, 2.67 miles. There's also another course at 2.7 miles. 120,000 fans can get in to watch all the action. And naturally, part of that action is on the tri-oval. 4 football fields long, a main grandstand with 25,000 seats. And here the fans can see just about everything that's happening in the pit lane and way over in the garage area. This is the 6th event in the German Touring Car Masters. Some 62,000 fans have made it here over the weekend to watch all the action. This is the course they'll be tackling, and the man that will be leading all of this is a first-time pole sitter, Uwe Alsen, in his Mercedes.
My ambition is for sure that I win the race, but we will see. It's really not so easy. Marcel Fessler is in the same road than I, and he will push very hard, I think so. We will see. What we need is a little bit luck, and then the main race is more important for sure.
The cars are out on the warm-up lap. There you see it, Uwe Alsen on the pole, Marcel Fessler on the outside pole. Then a surprise, Alain Menu is third in the Opel, and Bernd Schneider, the points leader, is fourth. Thomas Jaeger fifth, Michel Bartels is sixth. This qualifying took place in the rain. Sort of messed everything up, and the Opels and the Audis didn't have much of a chance. Here we go. Qualifying race, 8 laps ahead. And Uwe Alsen gets the jump in that black Mercedes with the red rear-view mirrors. Fessler hangs on inside, and Menu spins. And more cars go off the course here, getting into the infield section off that straightaway. Uwe Alsen is out in front. It looks like Bernd Schneider has moved into third place. Parts are flying all over the place as we work our way toward the tri-oval again. More cars are spinning. Bartels over there on the right. He spun. But now it looks like everybody's sort of got things worked out here, and we're just in the first lap here at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. I'm Milt Fitzwater. Hope you enjoy the action today in the German Touring Car Masters. And one of the Audis has gone off the course. That is Tomczyk. Well, Tomczyk, one of the young drivers, 19 years old, and a growing star, goes off the course. This is quite a challenging infield circuit. There's Menu, incidentally, working his way back after that disappointing start. Uwe Alsen, meanwhile, out in front. And the Audi just doesn't want to seem to get going. Martin Tomczyk, 19-year-old. He's done very well this season, but he's also paying that money to learn. The rest of the field works its way around. Let's take another look at this. Menu tries to get inside, can't hold the line, and goes off the course.
I had a good start, and I was in third place, breaking into the first corner, and somebody behind didn't brake hard enough, I guess, and tapped me into a spin, and I rejoined last. So after that, nothing much I could do, but I mean, I had a good race, and the car was pretty good. So I felt, I could see the first 4 in front, and they were not really pulling away that much. It felt so maybe I could have kept up with them a bit and have a fight. So it's a shame.
There's the top group, 4 Mercedes. Alsen, Fessler, Schneider, and Dumbrek. These are your leaders right now. Taking another look going into the bumping incidents all the way through here trying to get this race started. There goes Tomczyk off the course, rather unceremoniously, and you can see he's got some problems. That's his Audi over there on the right of your screen. Meanwhile, the Mercedes drivers certainly don't have any problems whatsoever. They're holding on to a big lead. The one Audi right there in 5th place is Matthias Ekstrom, 23-year-old Swede. He's done very well this season. He's also new to this type of racing this year, and here you get a chance to ride with him as we head up onto the tri-oval section here at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz. Into the left-hander, and then down the straightaway, and then they have to brake for that left-hander, which takes them just past the pit lane. There you get the top 5. It's a Mercedes parade so far. But Ekstrom is hanging right on there. Dumbreck has got his hands full, sitting in 4th position. Another look at action back in the pack. Well, this is the man that's had his problems this year, Jochen Winkelhock. He just hasn't quite come to terms in driving the Opel, and he's had his share of problems. Meanwhile, up front, Uwe Alsen looking for his first victory in a qualifying race. Leads the field here at the Euro Speedway. This is the 6th race of the season. In the previous 5, there's only been one double winner, and that's Bernd Schneider, your points leader, who's currently running 3rd. Aiello, who had been qualifying very well in the practice sessions, there, take a look what happened to Winkelhock. He just lost it. That's it. He lost it. And this is another one. This is not the original one we saw. And here's Tomczyk. I'm not sure what happened there. But something happened to that backside of the car to throw it way out of line. Meanwhile, the rest of the Audis continue to challenge. That's Christian Abt running there in 6th position. Ahead of him is Jaeger in one of the Mercedes. Abt, one of the 2 bosses of the Abt Sportsline team. Meanwhile, the 4 Mercedes just continue to pull away. Then comes the Mercedes of Jaeger, followed by Abt, and then comes Aiello. Aiello had been the fastest in all the practice sessions, and then the rain came during qualifying, and they didn't take advantage of the right moment when it got a little bit drier, and they fell back in qualifying. And the Tomczyk car is in the garage.
I was catching up the 4 Mercedeses, and then when I got too close, I lost a bit of downforce and made a stupid mistake. So I touched the wall a little bit when we went back to the oval, and then something in the rear right broke, so I had to stop the race.
That answers a big question. He said he touched the wall just a little bit. That's something new for the German drivers, the Europeans, to run on an oval where that wall is up close, and all it takes is one little mistake and it throws your car off. Eventually, they'd like to run these cars on the oval. Right now, they're staying on the Grand Prix course. Whoa, that's one way to get by. Christian Abt and Jaeger coming to terms in the corner. The question is, who had the most terms? Abt got by, but the question is going to be, did he do it quite as nicely as might be expected? Thomas Jaeger will probably tell you a different story. And now Jaeger's being attacked by Aiello. Aiello with the ideal line going inside, and Jaeger tried to cut him off, and they bumped. Oh, it's been a tough couple of laps here for Thomas Jaeger. The 2 Audis gave him a hard time coming around. So he drops all the way back 2 positions here. There's Timo Scheider, one of your top Opels in the field. Haven't seen too much of the Opels here. Somehow things didn't go quite as well as they'd like to in the qualifying, even though Menu did qualify up front, but then he had problems the very first lap, and the Opels have dropped back. But this man has not. Uwe Alsen out in front, and take a look at this going through the chicane. The Mercedes parade. Bernd Schneider, your point leader, leading these 2 cars. Running 3rd right there. He has the yellow mirrors. Behind him, his teammate, Peter Dumbreck. And behind them, Christian Abt. And then the next yellow Audi is Laurent Aiello. And I'm sure the Abt team had better hopes for today than running 5th and 6th behind the Armada from Mercedes. Now the question is going to be, will Marcel Fessler put the pressure on Uwe Alsen, or will they settle in for first, second, and third? Bernd Schneider couldn't be more happier actually, because he is in the points lead, and the two cars ahead of him really don't have any effect on him as far as the points are concerned. He's right there, and there's only 3 points to win, 2 points for second and 1 point for third, so not a big chance here for anyone to get much catch-up time on Bernd Schneider. Here we come. Uwe Alsen picks up the victory here at the Euro Speedway in the Lausitz. Uwe Alsen picks up his first qualifying race victory. Mercedes goes 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the Audis 5th and 6th. And look at that, Mercedes 7th and 8th. Domination all the way here at the Euro Speedway. The best Opel, Timo Scheider, finishing 9th. Darren Turner in a Mercedes was 10th. So now the cars will go into the pits and get themselves ready for the second race, the main race of the day here at the Euro Speedway. That first race, the tightest of the qualifying races this season, Alsen winning by 0.7 of a second. Great race. Question is going to be, can Mercedes continue to dominate here? Right now the Opel crew is going to work. Jochen Winkelhock getting strapped in. He certainly hopes that the good luck person will join him in the car. Good luck has not been his forte this year, although he did have a 4th place finish at the Lausitzring, so things did look better until he got to the track today and went off a couple of times. Okay, here's how they're going to start. Uwe Alsen, your winner, starts from the pole. Fessler second, just the way they started the qualifying race. Schneider is third. Peter Dumbreck fourth, so you got those two teammates together. Then Christian Opp and Laurent Aiello in the Audis. Then Thomas Jäger and Bernd Mailander coming back after missing 3 races due to an injury when he was working out. Timo Scheider, the young Opel driver who seems to be very consistent and picks up the points. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. Alsen gets a jump. Fessler gets inside. They're going down inside to protect the lane into the corner. Dumbreck way out to the left. So your leader cuts in. Dumbreck cuts way inside and forces Fessler out as he gets the line into the corner, moves into second place. What a great move by the Scotsman. He's taken over second position. The rest of the field seems to be getting through a little bit cleaner this time than in the qualifying race. Fessler was sort of outfoxed on that maneuver, and now it's up to Dumbreck to see if he can get by Uwe Alsen. You're riding with Ekstrom, who started way back in the pack, around 19th position. He's got to work his way through the field, and you can see how tight it gets coming through here. Although, look at the moves he's making. He's coming up beautifully and working his way through. But it does get tight back in the pack. Bernd Schneider sitting in 4th position, the points leader. As long as he can keep his opponents right there with him, he's not in bad shape. The field now sorting itself out very quickly, actually. Once again, you're with Ekstrom back in the pack. No room to get by here. Whoops, a little bit of bumping going on ahead of him. Tomczyk and Ekstrom way in the back of the pack. You can tell the difference in that Ekstrom has the yellow mirrors, Tomczyk has the green ones. And boy, are they trying to get by Manuel Reuter. Mercedes in the top 3, but an Audi has moved into 4th to break up that group. That's sort of a surprise. Ooh, Winkelhock got by Reuter. That's an unusual move. Winkelhock in that orange Opel. As the cars get ready to head back out onto this infield circuit. In the beginning, it only uses part of that first corner, coming off the first corner. It gets into the infield circuit with an S-turn. Then there is a left-hander that brings him right up toward the audience. What a great seat that is, because they're driving right at you. Just like that, except you're sitting up way high to watch it. And the Mercedes parade continues. So if you're an Opel fan, I guess you wouldn't want to sit up there. But otherwise, it's a great seat. There's a right-hander, which is a crucial turn here. If they get through this one good, they're set up now for the straightaway, and then another chicane with a very tight left-right combination that leads them back out onto the tri-oval. So it's a demanding infield course, which isn't always the case when they put them inside a super speedway layout. Let's take another look at this. All the cars had moved over to what you're saying on the screen here, to your right, to their left. The idea being is to hold line going into the left-hand corner. Dumbreck on the outside decided he was going to get the good line where the good grip is. He sails into the corner, gets position for the next corner. This is the key. He took position, was able to move. Oh, and Bernd Schneider's coming in. If this is a planned move, then he's coming in way early in hopes of beating the rest of the field, who normally would come in a little bit later. Nothing wrong with the car. They're just changing tires. This is a planned pit stop. And Ekstrom has also come in. So Bernd Schneider will drop to the end of the pack, but you have to remember, in this race, all the drivers have to pit at least once and change all 4 tires. So Schneider now has that behind him. He also has some clear racing room. He was sitting in the middle of the pack back in 4th position. Not much racing room. Now he can take advantage of an open track, make up the distance, and then wait till everybody else pits and then be able to move up. If that all works that way, of course. Uwe Alsen, Dumbreck, Fessler, Abt. Those are your top 4. And a loose hood there on the Menu's car. Boys, he's had tough breaks. Starts 3rd, drops back. Now it looks like he's got something wrong with the car. Uwe Alsen holding on here. The big difference will be that pit stop. Will they be able to make up the time? Did Bernd Schneider, did Ekstrom make the right move to pull up and see if they can take advantage of everybody else's pit stop? Another car coming into the pits, more coming into the pits. Aiello is coming into the pits. Menu continues to roll, but that hood is a little bit loose. Here is Dumbreck. Dumbreck comes into the pits. Let's see if this is a regular pit stop. If they just change tires, this is part of the strategy. Get in early, which means they must have great faith in the tires. Here comes Aiello. They're changing all 4. He's out. Question's going to be, here comes Dumbreck. Is he going to get out before Schneider? He comes out. There's Schneider. Look at that. Peter Dumbreck got in and out quicker than Bernd Schneider and now leads his teammate. And Alain Menu certainly has problems seeing where he's going. This is new aerodynamics at its best. Let's just hope the parts don't go all over the track. This will slow things down. He's going to have to try to get to the pits, and it had to come after he left the area, the pit area. There it goes, right down the front straightaway. It breaks off. Oh, look at the parts all over the course. That's very dangerous. Car could pick those up in the tires, and it's all over. Going to have to clean those off the track. Alsen way out in front. Fessler's dropped back. Abt is running 3rd. Jaeger's running 4th. Scheider is running 5th. Hoosman is running 6th. More pit stops coming up. This is the first time that the pit stops have really, everyone is using an early pit stop. It's worked before with the pit stop strategy coming a little bit early, but now they're going to bring out the pace car. Look at the parts all over the track. Uwe Alsen's coming right into it. He got around him. Uwe Alsen just missed the parts. Everyone else now sees the problem and is out of the way. Christian Abt is in the pits. He's going through a 4-tire change. Everyone else most likely will come in now with the pace car out on the track. But that plays to the advantage of Schneider and of Dumbreck, because they will just automatically stay out and move up in the field. Very smart move. Alsen has not pitted. There you're looking at the Opel of Menu as it changes aerodynamic position. Going to have to get that part off the track too. It's going to take a couple laps to get all this cleaned up. There's the Manu Opel in the pits. They've done the tire change. They've got to put the new hood on before he can get back out again. What started to be such a promising day for him has turned into disaster. Uwe Alsen is out there. Then comes Fessler. After all these pit stops, and we'll be able to figure out who is out in front. For the fans, it's hard to see here on the TV screen, but there is a sticker on the back outside of the car, and that's so that the fans in the stands can see who's pitted and who hasn't. When the cars come in, watch the back tire man yank that sticker off. The idea was just to make it more interesting for the fans. The leaders are going to have to come into the pits. This is about the best time they can do it, but they're certainly at a disadvantage to the earlier cars that pitted. This is Marcel Fessler, who had been running second, and he's the teammate of Uwe Alsen. And he's coming in before Alsen. So his team got him in early, and this is to the disadvantage of Uwe Alsen unless his team can pull off a spectacular pit stop. This is actually a matter of fate, because when Alsen comes in, depending on where he drops back, he's going to have to get behind Fessler. And Fessler comes out and runs into Abt. What was that? Fessler came out of the pits and ran right in to Christian Abt. There's supposed to be plenty of room there, and the driver coming in from the pit lane has to be aware of the cars on the track and the racing line. Track workers getting all the parts cleaned off the front straightaway here at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. There he comes, and he just goes into the side of Christian Abt. Can't explain that one. Either he didn't see him, or he thought he might be able to get by him. Not a very friendly move, no matter what happened. And there it is. Look at that. Oh well. Now it's up to the race officials. Here comes Uwe Alsen, and boy is he late. Timo Scheider is behind him. He's going to come out way behind the rest of the pack. He's going to have a long haul to get back up to the top group of cars. It was a matter of some tactics that didn't work and a matter of some luck that just wasn't there. Crew does a good job. Car is out, and he should be headed out. Scheider's going out, but what's Alsen stopping for? Wait a minute, there's a red light on. The red light is on. Something isn't right here. Usually that would happen if the pace car were coming by, but it's already gone. So now Uwe Alsen is truly out of the picture. He's going to be way at the back of the pack. He's got a major catch-up job ahead of him, and it's going to be almost impossible to do it. The lights are off on the pace car. We should be ready to go now here at the Euro Speedway, the second race of the day in the German Touring Car Masters, 6th race weekend of the year. And now we'll get an idea to see who is come out ahead in all the pit stops and taking advantage of the pace car. There's Bernd Meinlander coming back. Boy, is the pressure on him. His replacement, Marcel Timon, sat in the same car and did some great finishing in the top 5, and Bernd Meinlander's had some battles to try to get it into the top 10, let alone the top 5. A lot of pressure on that man. Dumbreck gets the jump. Did he do enough? It looks like it. Schneider tucks in behind him. Fessler is running third. So Dumbreck holds on. Abt is in fourth, Jaeger fifth, then comes Scheider, Ekstrom, Aiello, and Husmann. So the Audis are doing quite well. But we have a new leader. Peter Dumbreck, 27 years old, from Scotland. Dumbreck did win a qualifying race. That was back at the Lausitzring, but he has not won a main race. Now he's sitting out in front of the driver, who's the dominator, as they call him here. Bernd Schneider has not finished worse than second place in any of the main races. He's had a phenomenal season. It's one of those you just sit back and say, okay, who's going to beat him? And right now, I don't know who, but right now it looks like it could be his teammate, Peter Dumbreck. Schneider has picked up a victory at Hockenheim. He was second at the Nürburgring, second at Lausitzring. He won at Sachsenring. He was second at the Norrisring. Right now, he's running second here in Lausitzring. Whoa, he wanted to get by, and Dumbreck held him off. Dumbreck held him off. Schneider wanted to try to make a move. Dumbreck held right on to the line. There was nowhere for Schneider to go. Amazing. That's something you don't get to see very often here. At the Norrisring, it was Alsen that was out in front of Schneider. Schneider, obviously the top driver with Mercedes right now. But everybody else is out to get him. And right behind him is Marcel Fessler. Fessler wouldn't like anything better than move into second place. And of course, the Audi, well, they're looking for everything they can get. That's one of the comeback stories, period, after the miserable year last year. There's Christian Albers in a Mercedes off the course. You're back with Mattia Ekström. Ekström has done a great job, actually, here. After all that early pits, he's moved up into what looks to be about 7th place. What a great drive. And there comes Tomczyk. Tomczyk trying to move his way up. Alsen is way in the back. Boy, has he got a lot of catching up to do. But Martin Tomczyk is making some good moves here. Tomczyk had dropped way back, or started way back in the field, and is now working his way forward. He's up in about 12th position. Uwe Alsen, meanwhile, is way back in the pack. Boy, is that disappointing. Very disappointing for him. He's back in about 14th position. There he is. He wants to pull up by Olivier. And whether he's going to get by or not, that's another question. Oh, Michel Bartels runs right into Christian Albers, and that was why he went off the course. Dumbreck now with a little bit of breathing room between himself and Schneider. Here comes the battle back in the pack. Fessler has dropped back just a little bit. Ekström continues to push. The Swedish star really pushing to move back up into the pack. He's not giving room anywhere. He's got Timo Scheider right ahead of him. The leaders right here at the bottom of your screen. Dumbreck, Schneider, then comes, look at this, Christian Abt has moved up into 3rd place. Jaeger is 4th. Fessler is 5th. Scheider is 6th. And then comes Ekström and Aiello. Wow, what a great drive for Ekström. Starting back in around 19th position, he's moved all the way up into 6th. Great drive for the young Swede. Aiello, the Frenchman, also had great hopes for today, but he's had his share of problems, hasn't quite been able to move up. But it's really surprising in the performance of Ekström. Doing a great job. And once you get a chance to ride with him here. Actually, and his teammate, Martin Tomczyk, is also moving up. Tomczyk is back at 8th and 9th position. So the two young Audi stars are putting on quite a show here for the fans at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. Later this year, the U.S. Kart Series will be making a stop on the Tri-Oval. It'll be the first time for a U.S. Series to come to Europe and run on a super speedway. Now you can see the Mercedes 1 and 2, also 4 and 5, but the top Opel, Timo Scheider, in 6th position. Ekström is now 7th. Tomczyk is in 12th position. There he is. But he had started even further back. This is a battle of two very young stars in the series. Timo Scheider's only 22. Teammate of Jochen Winkelhock. And Scheider, actually, for minutes of the season, has been the man who's held up the points for the Audi team. Aiello did pick up some big points with the victories and a couple top finishes, but the most consistent all the way seems to be Scheider. Michel Bartels, Opel, being worked on and try to get it back out. Whether they can or not, that's another story. There goes Christian Opt, Jaeger, Fessler. Oh, and here comes Ekstrom inside of Timo Scheider. Is he going to make this one? He got by him. Ekstrom gets by Timo Scheider. This young man is on the move. Scheider pulls out, but it's not going anywhere. So Ekstrom now is going to have to go after Marcel Fessler. Fessler, the 25-year-old Swiss driver, another of the relatively young drivers in this field. Actually, Peter Dumbreck is new to the series, second year. He's running up in first place. He's 27 years old. Schneider, one of the true veterans of touring car racing, is 37 years old. So you can see there's a big disparity in age here. But Ekstrom still has a little bit of racing room to go before he can catch up to Fessler. There's some breathing room there separating them. Fessler, meanwhile, has got his hands full trying to get by Jaeger, the 24-year-old German driver. There's your top six. You can see it's a good mixture of the older and younger coming in to the German touring car scene. Tomczak still in 12th position. And Reuter, the veteran, back in 13th. Altzen has moved up into 14th position. Winkelhock is still way back after all his problems. Aiello is right behind Timo Scheider. Aiello, you can tell by that red mirror on the yellow Audi. Actually, the field has kind of settled down here after all the hectic that was going on prior to the pace car coming out. And then during the pace car phase, when everybody was trying to make time in the pits, and Bernd Schneider and Peter Dumbreck crews look awfully smart right now. Fessler coming into the pits. So he'll be dropping back. He's coming in for a stop and go. Yves Olivier, the 26-year-old Belgian driver, the teammate of Manuel Reuter, is off the course in the sand. Oh, it was a stop and go also for Christian Opt. Here comes Fessler in. He got a stop and go. That probably came out of that little altercation earlier. But as yet, we don't have a word on that one. Wow, is this really tough? And Manuel Reuter simply lost it on his own here. Excuse me, Olivier lost it on his own. Didn't look like he got touched at all. And there he is. He got back on the course. They're allowed to push them back onto the course and keep going. Olivier has not had the season that he probably hoped he would. Meanwhile, Ekstrom continues to roll. He's having a great drive. After all these stop-and-go penalties, he's up in the top 5. He is running extremely well. Ekstrom has had a pretty good year, actually, when you think about it. The young Swedish driver has made a very good showing for himself. He had problems in the first race, where he did not start because of mechanical problems. Then at the Nürburgring, he was 9th. He was 7th at Oschersleben, 5th at Sachsenring. He was 9th at the Norrisring. And now he's running in the top 5. Here comes Laurent Aiello in. Aiello has had an up and go. He had that one race where he didn't come in. He got a stop and go penalty too. A whole bunch of stop and go penalties, the most we've had all season long. Meanwhile, Dumbreck and Bernd Schneider are running by themselves. Sitting there now in third position. Or is he being lapped? Right now there's Ekstrom. We'll have to catch up and see where we are here. This is a battle here between Ekstrom and Jaeger. Ekstrom with an extremely strong show here at the Euro Speedway. What a great performance, but now he's having more trouble getting by. But he has proven you can pass here. Some of the drivers were worried a little bit that you couldn't, except on the very sharp corners at the end. But it seems that Ekstrom, with his great drive so far, and took advantage of some of the pit work, has really moved up in the field after starting way back in the pack. Nowhere to go here, or is there? He got inside, and he got by him. He got by him. Ekstrom, I believe, is now running in third position. Yep, third position for the young Swedish star. So when the veteran Audi drivers ran into all kinds of problems, it was the junior team that's been holding up the Audi flag with a great performance and some fine driving, putting on a great show here. And there's Tomczyk. He's also moving up. Tomczyk, who had started way back in the pack, is now running in sixth position. Uwe Alsen continues to have to work his way up in the field, but he has certainly had his share of problems. He's way back in the pack, around 16th position. Things have not gone well since he had to pit. He's not been able to make up the time or the difference. This is how he got by. This is Ekstrom. Boy, he couldn't have had much more room to the left, but he got position going into the left-hander. Meanwhile, the leaders just continue to roll. What an amazing performance they put on. As of yet, Bernd Schneider only made one serious attempt to get by Dumbreck. In essence, with the great lead that Schneider had coming in here, some 43 points or so, Dumbreck was behind him, so if Dumbreck finishes ahead of him in first, it'd be only about a 5-point pickup for Dumbreck. So all the other drivers who were threatening would just mean that Dumbreck would move in there, but there's only going to be 4 races left, including the Nürburgring, which is the next stop. So it's going to be one of these cases where Schneider who is not easily satisfied with his second place, but can be happy with it because of the points picked up. And this man can't be happy at all. He just can't get by anybody back in the pack here. He's not running strong enough to get by, and he spins. Uwe Alsen has spun. All right. What happened? Well, we'll find out, I hope, anyway. Looked like Christian Opt was behind him, but I can't be sure. So Uwe Alsen, who had been out in front, looking for a double victory possibility here, was beaten. His crew was beaten in the pits, and now he spins here late in the race. Even though he's way back in the pack, he was trying to move up. And it looks like Jochen Winkelhock now is going to get by him. Aiello is going to get by. Something's happened to the Alsen car. Well, Uwe Alsen can chalk this up as another one of those tough ones. He's proven that he belongs. He's gotten into the winner's circle. He's in control. What happened here? Well, that takes care of that. It was Christian Opt who took him out. And for the fans of this series, you'll realize these two had a bit of differences at the last race with some harsh words. So maybe that's where that one came from. Who knows? Uwe Alsen now is going to have to be content to try to finish the race if he can. As we come down toward the end of the event here. But boy, what control these two cars have had. Peter Dumbreck out in front. Dumbreck has been in the shadow of Bernd Schneider who right now has the fastest lap here. Incidentally, Christian Opp had the fastest lap in the first race. So it shows that the Audis are into this thing. But Dumbreck had a third at Hockenheim. He had an 8th at the Nürburgring, a 4th at Oschersleben, a 6th at Sachsenring. He was 5th in the main race at the Norrisring, and here he is out in front. But once again, you're looking at Uwe Olsen. Olsen simply now trying to bring the car home, it looks like. The rest of the field trying to sort itself out to see what they can do to move up, if they can move up. And Tomczyk, in that yellow Audi with the green mirrors, is doing his best to move up in the field. But he's got some difficulties ahead of him here. He's going to have to get by Patrick Hoesman from the Netherlands, and that's not going to be easy. Hoesman's been very, well, quite consistent, I guess you'd say here. He's done very well for himself. And he right now is running up in 5th position. Hoesman did not finish. He was 7th, 9th, 3rd, 7th. Not bad. Especially when you're not running one of the new cars. You're running last year's car that's been upgraded. So Patrick's doing quite well for himself. But boy, is he being pressured by Tomczyk. This is the battle for 5th place. And Tomczyk is not letting off. The 19-year-old who started way back in the pack has gone outside. He has not got the line. He's going to have to back off. He's trying, but he's trying to do it the hard way. And Hoesman's got the line, and he's not going to give it up. Tomczyk just is trying everything he can possibly do to get by, and it's just not working. Hoesman has just a little bit enough to keep him off. The 19-year-old Tomczyk has been one of the surprise drivers this season, particularly after his performance at the Nürburgring on the Grand Prix course there. He finished 2nd in the qualifying race, 4th in the main race. Uwe Olsen coming in. Looks like he's finished for the day. This has not been one of his better race days. He certainly has done well overall, qualified well, picked up the victory in the qualifying race, but after that, things just went downhill. And then a small altercation with Abt near the end, that kind of ended things for him. The battle now you're looking at is way back in the pack. And look at this one here. They continue to go, the battle for 5th. This is Hoesman, right behind him. Tomczyk in the Audi. There's no room. Hoesman's got the line. He's not going to give it up. Hoesman, 32 years old, a lot of experience behind him, holding off the 19-year-old challenger. This is another one of those races for Tomczyk to stick away what worked and what didn't. He's picking up experience every single race, becoming better and better, which is great for touring car racing in Germany. For a while, it looked like all the veterans were going to be taking over. But right now, there's a good crew of young drivers, early 20s, who are starting to make a mark. Only a couple drivers are in their 40s. Before there were a few more, but right now there's just Momoro and Winkelhock who are in that 40 bracket. And here are your leaders. Dumbreck out in front. Schneider running 2nd. Schneider not pushing him. Not pushing him at all. Matthias Ekstrom is running 3rd. Jaeger is running 4th. Hoesman is running 5th. Tomczyk is running 6th. And this right now is the battle for 7th. Way back in the pack. People are just bumping everywhere to get around. Can they make it? Well, we're going to have to find out on this one. Well, it looks like Tomczyk has backed off just a little bit. There you see your top 6. We've been following those quite regularly. There's Christian Opp leading this group. He had been hit with a stop and go. Reuter is listed as second, right behind him. Then comes Fessler, Salins, and Scheider. But the real battle the fans are watching is right here. But it looks like it's sort of settled down, and Huisman's taken over control of the position. Huisman is running 5th right now. Tomczyk running 6th, and looks like he's going to hold control for that position. They have got plenty of space between themselves and the 7th place car. So this situation here seems to be resolved unless something goes wrong. Heading back up onto the tri-oval. Another look going through the chicane. It's like a freight train. You can't say that Tomczyk is giving up. He certainly isn't. Whoops, but he got a little squirrely there. He better not make a mistake. He's had such a great race. He better make sure he stays into this. Jochen Winkelhock way back in the pack and spins again. Boy, Jochen has just had one tough day. Jochen is not going to be a happy driver. A very competitive driver, very successful touring car driver. And this is not the kind of racing that he likes. Peter Dumbreck, meanwhile, he's headed what looks to be his first victory in the race category of the weekend. One qualifying race victory earlier this season to his credit. Now he gets a chance to pick up a main race win. Bernd Schneider is just keeping himself in his rearview mirror. He has not pushed Dumbreck since those first couple of laps they came out of the pits and Dumbreck beat him out of the pits. The cars are equal. It's going to be difficult for Bernd to get by, and if he does, it'll probably be only because Dumbreck made a mistake and Schneider's been around. He'd like to force him into it, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In fact, Schneider is backed way off. He's way behind. Here comes Peter Dumbreck. Boy, is he in control. They're going into their final lap. Schneider has decided he's taken over 2nd place. 3rd place will be Matthias Ekstrom. What a great race for him. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be challenging him. So now Peter Dumbreck has to drive it home. Aiello. Timo Scheider with some problems. Aiello getting inside, and we'll get by him. Aiello slips in, but Aiello's certainly not going to be happy with his performance today. It was not one of the kind of days he wants to remember. He's sitting in, that was the battle right there for 11th and 12th. Peter Dumbreck, you can see for yourself. The victory is his, as long as that car holds together now. He picks up his victory here at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. The next stop on the tour, the Nürburgring. There'll also be a race in Zandvoort this year, winding up to in Hockenheim. Here they come. The Mercedes crew waits for their drivers. Peter Dumbreck, Bernd Schneider, teammates. All they got to do now is get up onto the tri-oval and bring it home. What a great drive for Peter Dumbreck. What a great job his crew did in the pits to get him out ahead of Schneider. It looked like Schneider had pulled the smartest move of the day, but Dumbreck beat him by a tad, and beat him here by a little more than a tad at the Euro Speedway. Your winner, Peter Dumbreck. Bernd Schneider 2nd.
I made a very good start. I was able to get right in behind Uwe at the start. And from there, it was down to pit stops. I really wanted to get an early stop so that I could, if I got stuck in some traffic, then I would be able to make my stop and get a clear track. And that's what happened. the safety car came out then, and I was a little bit worried then because I thought maybe the front cars could stop in the safety car zone and get back out in front of me, but for some reason they couldn't do it. And when I found myself in the lead of the race behind the safety car, immediately I thought of my mirror and I saw Bernd there, and I felt a little bit of pressure then.
But that pressure's off. Dumbreck has moved into second place in the points race, just 43 points behind. It's a long ways, actually. The best Opel today, look down there in 7th position, Manuel Reuter. And there are your top 16 here at the Euro Speedway in Lausitz, Germany. A great race weekend before a great crowd. And the day belonged to Mercedes, a day that it looked like they were going to dominate right from the beginning. The man with a difficult time, Uwe Alsen, 20th. The man who's out in front of the points, Bernd Schneider.
Actually, the start was not so good. I lost 1 position. And finally I made a good pit stop. But after the pit stop, Peter was in front of me. He made no mistake during the race. I pushed really hard to get him, but finally he made no mistake and he won the race.
We've been very good in testing, we've been good in the qualifying, but we had a bit of unluck there. So if you have the speed and you're fast, then it's not so difficult to overtake. But if you're slow, then or if you have the same speed, as long as you do good lap times than the guy in front of you, then you can overtake them.
There you have it. Bernd Schneider continues to lead in the points. Dumbreck second. Fessler drops to third. Uwe Alsen is in fourth. Aiello, who had been a contender earlier this season, is in 5th position. The next stop on the tour will be at the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring. The drivers celebrate here at the Euro Speedway. As we take a look back at the action, we'll see you next time at the Nürburgring.